just, he pushed me. He wanted to see where I was at. And he said,
Yeah,
you know, you
yeah.
Polynesians, he said, you Polynesians think you can just come in here and sing, but you're all lazy. And I was like, oof, you don't know me.
Oh, wow.
So, and then he goes to me, he goes, oh, so what are you going to do if it comes to Rock Week? You don't know I was ready. And I said, yep, Metallica, nothing else matters. And he goes, okay, then sing. So I sang it. And he goes, well, what
Yeah,
would
yeah.
you do if it came to Country Week? And he goes, I said, oh, Johnny Cash, Ring of Fire. And he goes, oh, yeah. And he goes, okay, then sing it. So I was just like, oh, yep, sung the song. And I was like,
Boom.
anything else?
Yeah.
And he goes, okay. So then I did my audition. And but that was like a make or break and pivotal moment for me.
Hey, brother, this is real talk, and I just wanted to sort of be open with you from the start because to me, you're one of these great people that you should have on the earth because you make the earth a better place, bro. Absolutely. And when you get to my age, 42, and you know, and you see good people leave the earth, like a good friend of mine last week, David Moo, an awesome man, a great athlete, an entrepreneur, a good father. A wonderful man who employed 100 people, took a lot of people under his wing as well, but he's gone. And then myself, I reflect, okay, what am I doing in life and what do I need to do better? And am I happy with where I am in this current situation? Then I remember your documentary, brother. And I remember you pretty much outsmarting death in that journey that took 25 lives of people in your line and in your iwi. And I think about you. I mean, how do you look at that daily, and how often do you reflect on life that is now?
Oh, I'm kind of finding myself doing that a lot. I always have to, I think ultimately I just want to be happy. And if happiness looks like taking a step back and saying no to incredible opportunities, I think I need to do it. It's for my own sanity, it's for my own mental health, and I can't do everything, and I've realized that. I've learned a lot of hard lessons. I've learned the hard way that I can't do everything and be everything. But yeah, I think having cancer was the best thing that ever happened to me because I learned, like, no is a hard thing. I'm still getting used to it. It's not like that I'm all the way there.
Yeah.
But I think for me, I just really was like, okay, this is what I'm going to do and this is what I'm not going to do. What is going to be quality of my life rather than quantity? And I'm still trying to find that balance because, it's old habits die hard and I'm used to doing this and that and just kind of just working myself into the ground.
Yeah. I mean, you're not quite 30 yet, brother, and you've done so many things, very worldly, a great head on your shoulders. But when we go back to cheating death or being too smart for death, I mean, that process, man, that took a lot of mana. It was scary. When did it become an idea in your head, bro? And just the process of it, man.
It was easy for me. I never was scared. Like I wasn't scared.
Yeah.
I knew that God had a plan for my life and it wasn't going to be die from cancer. I just didn't know what the journey was going to be like. And I remember just saying to myself, okay, this is what we're going to do. I want to use this as an opportunity. Like I'm a creative person, so and I knew that I was going to work for ages. So I thought, okay, let's make this a creative journey. Let's turn something that's ugly
Oh, bro.
into something that hopefully can help me through the process, for my sanity, but also help other people. And like, I feel like that, that me and my whānau and everybody involved in the documentary told that story and was able to shed light on stuff that nobody knew. And for a lot of people, I remember one of the best ever like kind of comments that I got or feedback was this guy. He was like, oh, my wife watched your doco and we always thought that there was something wrong with us. And he goes, long story short, me and my two sisters got our stomachs out and you saved our lives. We didn't know, otherwise we would be dead. And so like, that's what it's all about.
Guardian angel, brother. I said you're a great human, but that's the thing, bro. Because I just watched it and it was amazing. Have you ever gone back over there and rewatched that, or did you watch it? And how did you feel when you were sitting back at a bigger picture, watching what you went through and sort of reliving those times?
Yeah, I watched it not long ago with
Wow.
my missus and her sister, and we were watching it in the lounge, and I was just like, sometimes I forget, like, oh, especially the big stand. I was like, oh, there he is. But just the whole process and like how my family deals with, I guess, a traumatic experience. Laughter is it's a big medicine, and
Hard, brother,
it's
hard.
always good. You know, like that's what we do in our cultures. We joke about the worst things, but in a way that helps us. You know, and it's not like that whole tapu thing. Can't say it, can't talk
No,
about it.
bro.
It's not, you know, like Voldemort. And I was just like, we're kind of like trapping ourselves if we're not able to talk about it openly and everything. So yeah, it was really cool, and it was cool watching it with my partner because she hadn't seen it, and just like it was like emotional for both of us, and
Yeah,
just
bro,
like
hard.
you know, going through the year. So it was cool.
And now we just see your six pack and all your photo shoots, brother. Hey, with the jacket open, shirt open, boom, beat on you. Hey,
Hey, I got no abs, but I mean, it's good to be skinny. Everyone's like, oh, you need to put some weight on. I was like, well, first of all, can't. Second of all, no.
brother, you've always been a stylish man. But you know, when I look at who you are now and the person you are at still a very young age, then I go back and look at your upbringing. Now, the upbringing is what made us who we are, brother, especially with what gets put in front of us and how we tend and what paths we take. But man, your upbringing, when I was reading about it, bro, it was rough, man. Yeah?
Yeah, oh, you know, I think it's a lot of people's story.
Yep.
But I think everything that you know, that I've been through, it's made me who I am today.
Hard.
I've had to take a long time to come to the point where like accepting a lot of stuff that I had no control over as a kid. And I think like that's what I love doing, is being able to share my stories through my music, through anything creative, and even to like a point like the documentary. That's still a creative expression for me, and that's how I kind of deal with a lot of stuff, and I learn a lot about myself too. I've just been doing a book at the moment on my life, and it's pretty deep. It's pretty intense.
Epic, eh? Yeah. Who you doing the book with?
I'm doing it with, oh geez, forgot.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. But I mean, the process of having that autobiography, you got to relive it again, and some moments that you didn't quite remember comes back, brother. And man, you've lived the life of two people, even at the age of 30 or 29, I should say.
Yeah. Oh, honest to God, bro, it was like doing therapy. It was like I had to revisit stuff that, like, I'm not scared to revisit. I've got no qualms about, you know, stuff that's happened in the past. But I actually learned so much more about myself and like the situations and what I had no control over. I mean, even as a little kid, I took on a lot of responsibility for things that had happened to me, thinking that it was me, not understanding the psychology of it, or understanding that I actually didn't have full understanding, and I couldn't fully comprehend the stuff at 6 years old, 5 years old, 8 years old. So, bro, it was therapeutical as, and I learned about myself in a whole new way, and I thought, well, I knew myself, but man, wow.
Yeah. Well, the story now of you, bro, is absolutely massive, and we are victims of our own upbringing, but it's what we do with it, right? And then I read somewhere in there that, because like right now, you shouldn't be the man who you are. You know, you could have been on the other side of the tracks. You could have been abusing substances. You could have doing everything, brother. But you chose a path, and which was, you know, against the grain, big time. And what was that moment? What was that time that changed you more than anything?
Oh man, there's been a few times. I can't really pinpoint one moment, but I remember because, you know, we grew up in a place, and it's normal to just fall by the wayside. You know, I was just going to be another statistics and another Maori that just was going to be a druggie, was going to be all this and do all these things. But I just knew that I didn't know what it was, but I knew that I was called for so much greater. And I knew that God had a purpose for my life, whether I knew the actual, what everything entailed in that. But it's just like, I've had incredible reminders and experiences that have shown me that I cannot change and cannot ever unlive, that have made me realize that I was born with purpose, to have purpose, to be more than what I've come from. And then also, like, a big thing for me over the last 12 years is because I've always known where I come from. I know who I come from to a point, because I grew up on the marae. but knowing not just where I come from, but who I come from, like, man, my tupuna were gangsters that they like fought and died so that we could be outrageous and dream outrageously. Like, we are their legacy. And then now it's like, far out, I'm trying to create a legacy for my kids and my kids' kids.
Brother.
But we are the reward for them. So I'm like, I'm going to be outrageous.
Yes, please do. We love it. We're watching your journey. But as a kid, were you a dreamer? Because, you know, like I said, you said, you could have been a stat, could have been everything else. Everyone else said, come and do this, that. You obviously weren't a follower. So were you a dreamer and a leader?
Yeah, I was definitely the biggest dreamer. I remember I used to climb to the top of our hill on our marae, and I'd stand on this big tank, and this is in Tauranga Moana. And I remember I used to like pretend I'm singing to thousands and thousands of people. And that's the one thing that I had to myself that nobody could touch, nobody could tell me how it was. That's what I used to dream. And I just finished doing my video clip for my new single coming out at my marae, because it was it was
grassroots, baby.
Yeah, and it was a full circle moment because my nephew was playing the younger version of me, and he was the same age. He's the same age as how I was when I used to dream. And I remember starting singing the song, and I looked back at the hill, and I was on the steps of my marae, and I started choking up. And I was like, man, I can't believe how far.
Bro, goosebumps, brother, goosebumps.
Yeah, so it's been like, bro, I'm like, I give it up to dreamers. That's why I tell kids, I tell people, it doesn't matter how old you are, dream more. Be outrageous with your dreams, because you can actually be anything you want.
Yeah, my man. What about that voice? When did you know you had a voice? Was that just everyone at the marae had a voice? I mean, it seems to be the way, because your voice is a special voice, brother. And when did you know it was one that you could do beautiful things with? And did you even rate it, man? Because I know you're that confident character.
Honest to God, I didn't even like. I always loved singing, and like, you know, my whole family. I come from a big family of singers, and like my grandparents were on the radio. Like it's just been in our blood. It's in our culture. You know, we sing at funerals, we sing at weddings, we sing at anytime someone speaks, we're singing. Any event, we're singing.
Yeah, waiata.
But yeah, hard out, and so. I've just always been that kid that gets up to sing and sings for the family, and we sing at all the events. But I just, you know how you dream of things, but you never, ever, ever expect it to become a reality. And like literally I would dream it, and I'm like, one day I want to do that, even though my situations in life were basically saying you're not going to be anything.
No, bro.
Yeah, I think when I was in intermediate, I've had two teachers that changed my whole life, and they were teachers at schools. My music teacher at Fairfield Intermediate in Hamilton, and it was my maths teacher in Byron Bay High School in Australia. They were two people that believed in me, and like they saw my gift for what it was. And I remember, like, because I was naughty at school, I was real naughty. Like I got suspended. I went to 11 schools and I got suspended from all.
Wow, wow.
But I just remember them, especially my maths teacher. He would always say, "Stop acting dumb. You're not dumb. So stop acting like that." And I was like, "Whoa." He goes, "You're more than that. Stop acting like, you know, if you want to be a dummy, but that's on you." And I was like, it blew me away. And then my music teacher, so I guess, I know I've always been the singer. I just never thought I'd be the singer. I didn't even know I could sing with this. And I'm like, where did my voice
Stop
come
it.
From? No,
I hate you, talented man. I love the voice. But, well, I say I hate you now, but from the moment I saw you on Australian Idol, man, I loved you, bro. And it was just how relaxed you were, how authentic you were, and chilled, bro. Like, tell me that process on Idol. Did you know? I think it was Series 7. Had you been watching it since? Were you coerced to go into it? Or you go, you know what? I want to do that. I want to win that. Tell us the story.
Bro, so I remember we were living in Hamilton, and I was at Fairfield Intermediate, and I remember we were watching Guy doing Idol. This is the first Australian Idol. And I remember I used to fake audition in my lounge room, and I'd walk in, I'd be like, this is how I'm going to do my audition. And I walk in, I was like, kia ora, my name is Stan, and I'm going to sing The Circle of Life, and you're just going to listen to me. And I would sing it. Yeah. And I literally did that when I was 18 years old. I went in and sang Circle of Life, and then they wanted another song, so I had to make up a little and did Ordinary People on the spot. But I just, I didn't even tell nobody. Like, I went in with my best mate, and people saw me there like, "Are you auditioning?" I was like, "Oh, no, I'm just here with my mate." And I almost went home because I was like one of the last to audition, and I fell
Yeah,
asleep
yeah.
on the grandstand in Brisbane. And then lucky I didn't go home.
Why were you going to go home? You say almost. What stopped you from going home? And why did you even have that thought in your head that I'm going to go home?
Oh, you just see something. Like, I just grew up seeing impossible situations, and I'm like, oh, well, then there's why me. I always used to think, why would I be the one that gets the dream? Why would I be the one that gets to live my outrageous dreams? And I remember just looking there, I was like, why would I get picked out of all these thousands of people? And then my mate goes, "No, we're staying." And then I went in, and like, it was the most incredible experience, because like I
What's your
came
mate's
from
name? What's your mate's name?
Jillian. Jilly.
Jillian. Thank you, Jilly. You're the man. You've given us Dan Walker, bro. Absolutely. So through those moments, like, because straight away you had planned it, you had rehearsed it was going to be that. Then straight away I was like, oh no, give us another song. Wow. So which moments you spoke about a little bit of nerves, perhaps out there waiting in line. What were the other moments through that sort of audition process, or going in through the idol that like, man, I doubted myself, or were hard times?
Because I'd been prepared for this. Like, I wasn't going in as like, even though our natural thing is to giggle and laugh, but I'm still about the
Yeah.
business. I'm not going there. I'm so
Yeah.
competitive. I'm not going there to lose. I'm not going there to like but I don't know what the plan was, but I wasn't going there to like back out. And I remember
Yeah.
I walked in. So you do two auditions before the TV audition.
Oh, okay.
And on the second audition, you had the panel of all the top people, like, the producers, everybody that's the main people who organize the show. And they were sitting in there, and I literally walked in, and they're like, "Hello." I was like, "Hi, kia ora." And they're like, "Oh, you know what?" And the big boss said to me, and I actually thank him. I remember being offended for a bit, but I look back now and I thank him, because I felt like he was just, he pushed me. He wanted to see where I was at. And he said,
Yeah,
"You
yeah.
Polynesians," he said, "you Polynesians think you can just come in here and sing, but you're all lazy." And I was like, "Oof, you don't know me."
Oh, wow.
So, and then he goes to me, he goes, "Oh, so what are you going to do if it comes to Rock Week?" See, you don't know I was ready. And I said, "Yep, Metallica, nothing else matters." And he goes, "Okay, then sing." So I sang it. And he goes, "Well, what
Yeah,
would
yeah.
you do if it came to Country Week?" And he goes, I said, "Oh, Johnny Cash, Ring of Fire." And he goes, "Oh, yeah." And he goes, "Okay, then sing it." So I was just like, "Oh, yep," sung the song. And I was like,
Boom.
"Anything else?"
Yeah.
And he goes, "Okay." So then I did my audition. And but that was like a make or break and pivotal moment for me, to be set aside. I was never going to just be another little blooming sheep in the paddock. I was always born set aside, like everybody, whatever that, their course of life
Bro,
is.
that's clutch. That's clutch, because to sing in the moment and multiple times when questioned, not only to answer back quickly with what you're going to sing with that preparation set, but then delivering it. Oh, wow, brother. Wow. So when you saw him after this whole thing, when you won it and you put your hand up, what did he say to you then? He probably said, "I knew you were going to win it, eh?"
No, he actually told the whole team, he goes, "I think that he's going to win it," because my manager told me later,
Yeah.
when I met him, he goes, "Oh, look out for the stand guy." And I was just like, "Oh, I didn't know that." But it was good. Like, I thought there was a mean moment that I'll never forget. Like, I'll
Ah,
never
brother.
forget that. But not in a negative way, as in like, I came prepared.
Challenge
I was
accepted.
ready. Yeah. Like,
Mm,
I'm so
mm.
competitive. So.
Bro, just on that, because like we see the good moments, we see you killing it, we see you belting out the mad songs, and Guy and that all loving you and what you're doing. But tell us some of the moments where you thought, this isn't for me, or this is too hard, and moments when you had to really dig deep, and what you did to dig deep and stay in there.
Man, I've had like, there's more moments than I could even count. Like, I think everybody sees this picture of us because I guess in a lot of ways, like people like me, musicians or people of status that have platform,
Yeah, yeah.
we're kind of like the hopeful people. And I love being there. We're the
Mm.
voices for the voiceless. We have, like, I feel like I've got the most important gift in the world. It's because music is this way of speaking a language that everybody speaks. And so, like, you know, I remember Edna Clark said to me, and I didn't understand this until maybe a couple of years ago. She's like, to whom much is given, much is required. And man, I found myself in moments where I've resented the industry. I've resented myself. I've hated singing. I've wanted to quit. I've gone into depression. Like I've been like, you know, had turned to things that I never thought I would turn to, you know, turn to alcohol and like I wanted to quit everything. I was just so unhappy because, you know, you make all this money, you on there smiling like, hey guys, I'm Stan Walker. And, you know, we have to deal with everything by ourselves at the end of the day. My family don't have to deal with anything that has Stan Walker. They deal with the leftovers of how broken I've been. But like, man, there's been just times like I've wanted to take my life so many times. Like I never thought that I would get to that point. I used to think I was strong. I remember my mum said to me though, going into this, she goes, boy, you're not a super Christian. You can't do this by yourself. You need help. And I learned the hard way, and that's why we need, it doesn't matter about how many people, but it's good people to hold me up, because at the end of the day, I'm human. And because I'm such an emotional person, I do everything. It's like I put my heart and my soul out for people.
Because you care so much, brother.
Yeah, hard. And then, you know, it gets thrown back at me like I'm not good enough and you don't look the part and you're talking too brown. And like these, you know, just little comments that we said over things. And I've been called everything under the sun, every accusation. I've had every story told about me, but like lucky I've got a thick skin. But yeah, but I know that, you know, even though I have those moments, like I come back and like my purpose still remains, which is something that I look forward to when I'm like, you know, going through that kind of thing.
Your purpose is your why. Does that change much, or is that the same the whole way through? And do you set goals much? Because I'm interested, because, you know, the purpose is the last thing in my mind before I go to bed, and the reason why I get up in the morning. Then the next one is the process, how to do it. And the last one for me is perseverance, brother. But man, because what you have to deal with, it's like, I'm just interested to see your insight, because so many good times and bad times. Is it that people?
Yeah, like my why has always been the same. I think my why gets stronger. Like I know, like obviously, like, you know, a lot of people come into this industry, especially with you know, going on these shows and everything's positive, which is awesome. But I love singing. I've always loved singing. I knew that was my gift. So I'm not gonna lie and say I just came in here to help the people and help, you know, want to be this good fella. But my purpose is for my people. For Pacifica, Indigenous people, my heart is for my people. Like, I might not get it right all the time. Probably, in fact, I get it wrong more than I do get it right. But that's why I try and use my voice to sing and use my platform to reach our people, bro, to empower our people. There's nothing better than seeing our people empowered, being proud of who they are, where they come from, what they look like, be proud of their language, their culture, like, rip it. Like, be unapologetic about it. So my why has always been the same. And so when I feel like giving up and I'm like, man, no, it's just I'm having a hard time, just get over it, just have a break or whatever, have a Kit Kat, and then get back into it.
You can have a Kit Kat, got the six-pack. But that's it, man. So you see yourself as the leader or the one for the people, because I'll tell you what, bro, you've done that from that moment that you won in 2009, the Idol. You changed it up there and then, bro. You put the Pacifica and the Māori and everyone on the absolute max. Can you, if you go back now and you think about that night when you were told you were the winner, do you still remember the feeling that it was, or do you remember it at all? Amazing to understand.
Like, it was overwhelming, bro. I had about 300 of my whānau there that had come from all over the place. That to me was everything, more than people screaming my name, more than even singing that single. And, you know, it was seeing the faces of my whānau, everybody who came before me, the same generation. It's like, we made it. We made it. It wasn't like when I made it, we made it. When one of my whānau makes it, we make it. It's like we go together. We've always moved as a unit. That's what our people are. That's what people of the Pacific, Indigenous people are. We don't go in like singular. So that's, for me, was one of the most greatest moments, is looking at my family and them seeing us make it.
What a moment,
Yeah.
bro. I absolutely love that. Now, soon after that, you flipped the script, bro, because like, you know, I do a bit of work for Sky TV and it's one thing to be an expert. It's another thing to be the person as the anchor, or in your case, the judge working with the talent or critiquing the talent or doing that, bro. But you weren't just doing that. You were doing a little bit of acting at the same time. I think Mount Zion it was. And then you also, you know, you're also doing your own music. How the hell, bro, do you do all three and become the triple threat?
Oh, I don't know about triple threat, but I don't know. I just love it. Every one of those things is an out, like as a creative output. And I think when I first started, I was a singer, and then I became an artist. Like I know who I am, and I know what I want, and I know where I want to go. And it's so much more than just singing. Singing will always be there. Singing will always be a part of me. That's what I do, but it's not It's not the whole Stan Walker. That's just a part of me.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, I'm like an onion, got layers. But and like, honest to God, and like even like X Factor was that was one of the biggest wake up calls for me, because you know we went into this position where we're mentoring you know, artists and people are wanting to get into the industry, but I found myself, I was like, okay, I'm trying to advise these people and mentor them, and I was just like, man, I need to do that more for myself. And so I decided after X Factor, I wasn't going to do the same old, and I was going to move forward in the way that I wanted to move forward. And I didn't want it to be restricted to just being a singer. I wanted to, like, I've always wanted to be acting. Like, man, I've been to acting school live. I used to be a compulsive liar.
Yeah.
As a kid,
Yeah.
I've been acting.
Hey, bro, it's one thing to lie when you need to, you have to escape, but to act, bro, and to read different scripts and to do it on command, or even just to get that information. And brother, I don't know how you do it. But first of all, let's go back to the judging part, X Factor.
Yeah.
When they asked you to do it, did you have to think about it, or were you straight in?
Yeah, it took me a little while because I was like, oh, okay, what does this look like? And then, bro, this is actually a funny story. So I got hired. I was the first one hired way before they even did the call out to the other, or like before they did any like callbacks for the judges.
Yeah.
I got hired, and then one night it was on my birthday, and we were in Australia watching Aussie X Factor, and one of my best mates was on the show, and they got voted off, and I was like, oh, you know, just having fun, being fans of the show, and I was just like, oh, this show is breaking. How can they get off? They were the best. Anyway, Simon Cowell saw that as a what's it called, defamation. So I got fired. I got fired, and I had to do a formal apology. I almost got fined, and then anyway, I came back and did the show, and it kind of worked out by far, man. It was a crack up, because I had to come there and actually be a good boy and not demand anything, because that was my punishment.
Yeah. Oh, brother. Now you talk about acting, bro. Like, because, you know, when they say be a part of this first movie, did you immediately go, this is what I always wanted to do? Or was there, even with that, like, how often do you get that feel in the pit of your tummy, think, can I do this? Or I feel sick because I want to do it, but I don't know if I can do it.
Bro, I was so excited. Like, first of all, I was like, fire, yo, I'm keen as. Got there, and I was shitting my undies. Honest to God, I was so scared. We had to do these, like, a test run, like, you know, screen, whatever, to see how I'd be like. And I remember I was doing this scene with Miriam McDowell, I think. And anyway, she was 9 months pregnant at the time, and the scene was we were arguing, and then we kissed or something like that.
Oh,
and
wow.
then I looked at her, and they were waiting for me. I was like, do I kiss her? And she goes, yeah, you have to. And I was like, oh, all I could see was her stomach. And I was like, I can't do this. And her husband was in the room, and I was like, fuck, this is out. Anyway, we passed, and I was just like, I was shaking. I was nervous, because I was like, I am about to hook up with somebody's wife who's 9 months pregnant. But she's an actress. Like, she didn't even think anything. She was amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was shitting my undies, but we got there in the end.
Twice. You tested by the people on Idol straight away, by the big producer, and you tested here straight away. And then once again, you came through clutch. So what about your your own business, brother, when you were thinking about what you were doing? Because was there any fear that I'm Stan Walker, the musician first, or the singer? And then how did you balance that in between to keep current, I guess? Or was it like, no, I'm going to back myself and go down this track?
Well, I had to give it a go. Like, I wouldn't know if I didn't actually try it. And I've learned, like, I've tried so many different things and gone down different avenues, and some of it hasn't worked. And I'm like, good, well, at least I tried. I thought, because I don't want to, like, one of my biggest things is living with regret, like that coulda, shoulda, woulda, but didn't.
Yeah,
Like,
bro.
that's one of my biggest fears, is that I coulda, shoulda, woulda, but didn't do that. So I'm like, yo, let's go. Like, what's going to happen? What, I fail, I get a no, or it doesn't work out? Like, I'd rather try. And so I found that acting for me is, I like it equally as singing. And I like directing. I like doing the video clips and coming up with all the concepts, and I like doing all that stuff, the creative stuff behind the scenes. Like, everything that we do, I'm intentional about everything. Who's in it, who's doing it, what's it about, where it's about. So, like, I've learned over the years, like, I've had incredible mentors and, you know, worked on films and stuff like that, and watched them and just sat there and, like, look how they work. So, and that I've gained so many skills just by watching and learning.
Yeah. What's your thoughts on that, like a direction? Because, like you said, you're good at all those three things: acting, singing. Well, you didn't say it; I said it. But like, where do you go? Do you think you are going to stay across them all, or are you going to go deeper down in one particular vertical?
I think I want to be I want to equip myself to be more skilled in all areas, so that I can combine all of them to create, like, incredible art, whether it be films, documentaries, it be TV shows, whatever. Like, but all of it. I don't want to just do one of it, or just maybe combine the two. Like, I feel like, man, I can just do anything now. Anything's possible. Anything's possible, and I'm like, I'm just going to give it a go. I'll just do stuff that I know that I'm passionate about, and also, like, I'm learning so much. I never ever want to be unteachable. I always want to stay teachable, so
You're a good student, brother.
Yeah, and it's hard sometimes because I'm the biggest know-it-all at the same time too. Stubborn as hell.
Brother, I mean, if you know it all, or if you're a little bit stubborn, or you're very confident in your own abilities, where do you go to for direction? Where do you go to for a sounding board?
I got an incredible team. I always have, like, I never go back on my vision, and if stuff, you know, like, doesn't go my way, then I'm really quick at, like, thinking up another vision. But I just go to the people that know me the most and know me creatively too, and, like, I'll ask them, ask them for help. Like, I've got the best band in the world. Like, my band, they are clutch. They're, like, straight up, they're the best. Like, everybody knows. Everybody knows when they get on stage. When we get on stage, we're gonna put on the show. And like, I can fully flex on my band, because they're just the best. Like, I've got the best band. I've got the best team around me. Like, my family, half my family are my team. I've got, like, just incredible mentors as well that keep me on the right path. Sometimes because I like to just, you know, just divert, but I always come back eventually. But it's just having those good people, and people that actually know me.
What's been some of the toughest decisions you've had to make in your career? I mean, because, you know, you've come across paths from an early age. You know, you could have been a number, you could have been a statistic. You took a different path, and you made the right decisions. When everything is at your feet, there's more decisions to be made. How difficult do the decisions come, and how often do you make them?
Man, I feel like I'm faced with so many difficult decisions, but then at the same time, it's like some of the decisions are so easy, but it can create a difficult situation, if that makes sense. But in my heart, I know, like, if my heart is not right with something, then I have to pull out. Like, whether it be relationships, whether it be certain gigs, whether it be, like, just say, like, you know, I got offered $100,000 to do some gig that wasn't, like, it didn't align with me. Like, I have to say no to that stuff. If, like, but at the same time, I'm like, oh, okay, how do I align that? But if it ain't the right thing, like, it's like, even letting go of, like, I think the biggest, hardest thing is letting go of, like, relationships, whether it be professional, whether it be personal, whether it be, like, whānau, whether it be friends, in the industry. like, you know, like I've had to let people go and you know, just part from them because it's not doing me any good. Like,
and I guess it may not be authentic or genuine too. So how do you know, and how do you realize that that person's real and they are good for you or they're not good for Stan Walker?
well, all my core family and friends, they are the ones who will always tell me. I like to give people the benefit of the doubt because I don't see people for who they are then and there, or what might their intentions be. Because I mean, imagine if people did that to me, people would have given up on me. And but for who they're called to be, I reckon. And sometimes, you know, like I said before, like I can't be everything. I can't save everyone, or I can't help everybody, or vice versa. But like, there's some people I will always take a chance on because I can see the potential, and they just need someone like me, or they need someone like you. They need someone to do life with them, to believe in them. So yeah, like, it is difficult for me because I feel like in that case with relationships and taking on and deciding who's right and wrong, or like, or who's not good for me and who's good for me, like having discernment, I still, my heart like is out there for people. So
Hard, brother.
yeah.
But that's the other thing too, because you can't help everyone too, but like everyone's wanting a bit of Stan Walker, or they're wanting a bit of the people that are in, or they're on point, and that seems to be you, right? So how do you deal with that, brother? How do you deal with deciphering who needs Stan Walker and who doesn't really need Stan Walker? And we're talking about the money aside, you know, with the dollars out there.
Yeah. I think I've got good discernment, but I definitely need that push and nudge. Like, my partner, my mum, my whānau, my best friends, they are definitely that nudge for me. They're like, nah, we can see something's not going right or something like that. But, you know, I just always sometimes stick around. Sometimes I'm the bad person for somebody.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm the toxic, but well, it's hard though. Like, I was talking to my my boys today. We were talking about especially I find in New Zealand is that there's that tall poppy syndrome, and I think
brother.
for a lot of us, for our cultures, is you know, there's this whole thing on shame, and I hate it, because it's like shame to try, shame to succeed, shame to fail, shame to stand out. It's like,
Nah, bro.
what are you doing? You know, and I hate that because, I mean, I'm so proud of who I am. I'm so proud of how far I've come. I'm so proud of my gifts. I gas my own self up, not in a like cocky way, but I'm the man, and like everybody should think that they're awesome. If you can't deal with it, then that's your problem, you know.
Yeah, bro.
But it's taken me a long time to go far. Actually, you know what, Stan, you're on. Like, just keep going hard and knowing my value and my worth.
Yes, brother. Yeah.
And so that's why I don't really have problems with people's comments or what, because literally I've had everything said about me under the sun.
What?
And, you know,
everyone loves you, brother. Everyone loves you, man.
Oh, they love to hate me. I know this. But
stuff there, man. I love the lockdown, brother. I didn't love what it did for our economy and for the world, but for the lockdown, for me, it was amazing. How did you find the lockdown?
Bro, the first week and a half, honest to God, I thought I was going to die. Like, just mentally, I was like, I've never been there still in like 12 years. And, but then, bro, it was the most incredible, revealing time of my life. Hard, but like ultimately revealing. The first time I had to be still with myself and look at myself and go, oh, you got a lot of shit to bloody work through. Like, you know, even when it comes to my whānau, bro. And I thought, I was just like, I started like saying stuff like to my best mate. I was like, bro, do you think that you love unconditionally? He's like, oh yeah, I suppose so. I was like, I don't think we do. I was like, even when I look at my whānau, there's conditional love in there.
Yeah.
So I heard
you're getting deep, brother.
Bro, and I started talking about this stuff, and I had to like call a spade because I think people just like, you know, we just kind of just whisper about it. But I'm like, man, there was so much stuff that I needed to deal with, and old radu that I needed to heal from, and like literally call myself out on so much stuff. And I was just like, Father, this is who I am, and this is what I haven't been doing, what I have been doing. And then, bro, and now, because of that, those realizations and those being ultimately revealed, bro, I have the best relationship with my whānau, with my best mate, with my partner, and like, bro, it's been amazing.
So in that, in terms of the time to be creative, because there's a lot of time to yourself. Any gems come up, man, or any realizations with work or the creative side of Stan Walker?
Oh, bro, to be honest, it's the first time. So I didn't really write any songs or anything like that, but it's the first time I have sung at home. Like my like the whānau here, I stayed at my best mates, and they were buzzing out because when I do work, I'm just traveling all the time, doing gigs, flying, coming back. I don't even hum, bro. And you think, okay, I'm a singer, I always sing. I don't even hum at home.
Yeah.
And I started actually.
Well, someone's got to pay for that, right? You don't get paid for that humming, brother.
But I didn't realize that I had lost my joy to even just want to sing. And I got home and I started singing every day. Like we were jamming every day, and I found my joy to sing outside of what gig am I doing? Where do I have to be? What do I have to say my voice for? Or like, how much money am I getting paid? I was just like, fuck, I just started jamming, and I haven't done that for years, bro, for years.
Awesome, brother. Awesome. Because I know what you mean, because like when I was playing league as a youngster, it was good, and I was playing because I loved it. I was playing because I liked it. Then it became a job, and it became all about winning, and then it became about getting certain sort of numbers or stats rather than going out there for the real reason. Now, I trained you once before with Pity Weeper as well, and you came in the league shorts, and you had some bloody big tree trunks on you. And someone was scrolling through the questions before, and they said, if you weren't a singer or, you know, actor, everything else, what would you be? What do you think you'd be, mate? Because we saw you, you know, you're a professional league player in one of the movies.
I used to play league hard out in Byron Bay. I used to play against Cody Walker. So we were rivals, and we smashed
what
him
position?
In the grand final. I was second row. But this is when I was chunky, but now I look like the blooming water boy. I'm skinny now. But geez, I don't even know. I think that I would I don't know. It's hard to say, because I think that I would do this and that, but I think my mind has changed where I would go. But I'd love to do acting, like if I could do acting full time, or even just working with like local government or iwi and stuff like that. Like, you know, doing stuff for our people. Like, you know, I'd love to be one day change legislations and be a part of like changing laws, and like that to me is exciting for me.
You love affecting change on people, right, brother? And you love being the difference. When I say to you, where's home, because half your stories have been in Oz, half your stories have been in New Zealand. Where does it feel like home? Or is it 50-50?
Aotearoa. It's honest to God, like there's nothing like, I'm turning 30 soon, and I've just come to a point like I could just see myself doing gigs. Like I'm just about to go to school to freshen up on my reo, get better with my reo. Because I was like, it's now or never, and I have to do it. And I just feel like I owe it to myself, and I owe it to my future and to my kids and to the legacy I want to leave to do this. And so I just can't wait to just be a stay-home dad and then you do gigs on the weekend. Honest to God, I'm like looking forward to that. Done all the partying, done all the traveling. Like, I'll still travel and stuff for gigs regardless, so it doesn't really matter. But just work on projects that I'm like passionate about.
Okay, you've been awesome. You've really been a role model for us in a number of ways. For the young kids coming through, bits of advice, and it don't have to be young too. Like people like yourself, I love taking advice from. I love seeing you do your thing, and then go, okay, I took this from that, or whatever conversation. Your advice for people out there, brother, whether that be to be killer in something or to be just a better human being.
Honestly, to be better human beings, like just to love more, forgive more, live passionately, dream outrageously. Like I think that's for you. Love more, forgive more, live passionately, and dream outrageously. Because, man, you can be anything you want to. Never mind, just worry about your own life. Get your own, live your best life. Be happy. Be happy. Wow.
Yeah. I love a lot of your songs. Just the last couple of questions. Which one's your favorite song to perform, brother? Which one's your favorite song to perform?
Ooh, I'd probably have to say Thank You.
Yeah.
The song that's
a massive hit, man. Oh, for your mum?
Yeah. The Thank You. That's the song I wrote for my mum.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, I know the
I just,
song, brother. I know the song. I wanted to get a bit more about the story to it.
bro, the story. So my mum had breast cancer, and she was like, you know, just going through recovery and stuff like that. And I went in the studio and I was like, man, I want to write a song about my mum, just to thank her for everything that she's ever done, and just, you know, just because even though thank you is never good enough, I wanted to write her a song. And I was writing the song, and my mum called me up the next day, and yeah, and I found out I had cancer the next day. So I knew that after writing the song, and I knew that going into this journey really was going to be something for us that we'd never been on before. Like after everything she's been through, now she's like in
Yeah.
recovery. Now she's going to have to look after me going through cancer. So yeah, but it was just that song means so much to me, and that's me and my mama's song, and for all the beautiful mamas out
Bro.
there.
Yeah, and quite often when you're on Instagram and everything else, and I quite often put that song, that's the song I put on all my thank yous and what you do, brother. I just want to say thank you to you for your time, because there's something you can never give back, and thank you for what you've done and being a role model for the people of Pacifica and Māori, New Zealand and Australia, bro. I really do appreciate it. You're a fine man, a fine human being, and I'm so happy that you're still on this earth with us, brother. Thank you so much for your Manaaki tonight.
Oh, thank you, my bro. Thanks for having me. You're the man.
My man, let's go into that gym soon, bro. I got you.
Bro, I need some shoulders and a chest, bro. I'm skinny.
You've got the six pack, man. You got the six pack. All right, brother. Have a good night, eh?
You too, brother.
Brother.
Ka kite.